We now welcome on to the podcast, very special guest, friend of the pod, and technically the first guest in studio. This is you're on the casting couch, we call it. Just a name we came up with. Doesn't mean anything.
No, it was great. It was great.
If you guys don't recognize him, I feel bad for you, but I'll introduce him properly just to get, I guess, the semantics out of the way. Connor Pavolony, former Vol. He is catching with the Orioles, still with the Orioles organization. I probably should know that, but I don't know a lot of things, so that's okay. We're excited to have you. Thank you for coming all the way to South Knoxville to make this happen.
Dude, I've been all over Knoxville this offseason, so it's and this is something that I really want to do. We talked about this forever, so I'm excited to be here. Definitely, a friend of the show. I really enjoy coming on and talking about Tennessee baseball is one of my favorite hobbies. So
yeah. And we may do it while we're recording, but before you were on Tennessee basketball too.
Dude, yeah. I mean, what a time, right? Beating Kentucky in Rupp, beating Kentucky period is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
But those guys look really good right now, and it's a really fun brand of basketball they're playing right now. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I never really get into basketball in general. Like when I was here, I'd go watch them play, guys like Josiah and Grant Williams, but I've never been a huge basketball guy, but I really enjoy watching these guys play.
Dunking that makes it a little fun.
Dalton does make it very fun to watch. Very fun to watch.
You mentioned you're like how we're going to talk about basketball. Here we are doing it. You mentioned is like Dalton. Can you imagine Dalton Connect would only score 16 points in Rupp and Tennessee goes for 103. Also, just a white kid named Dalton from South Dakota. Can you imagine someone like that would be tearing up the SEC? Maybe SEC Player of the Year, National Player of the Year. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, you got to go through a 7'4" guy. Whatever. Yeah, that's insane. South Dakota? Is that really where it's from?
Yeah, Fargo, right?
Okay.
No offers out of high school either, I don't think, if I remember right.
Sounds right.
Yeah, went JUCO, I think.
Yeah.
And then went to a D1, and
hit
now
a
he's
growth
here.
spurt, and now he's here. Yeah, doing his thing.
I mean, dude, it's pretty cool to see. And, I mean, great story. Seems like a great kid from everybody that I've talked to. He's a great kid and obviously a great basketball player. So it's unbelievable to see what he's doing on the court. And just somebody who goes out there and routinely scores that many points on a Tennessee basketball team, who's always been known for, at least when I've followed them as a real defensive team, like for them to go out and score triple digits in Rupp, I think is pretty cool. And it's just, like I said, it's just really fun to watch.
Scoring cells. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Football, baseball, and now Dalton Connect scoring cells, and I think that's why Danny White's like, hey, after every big win, I'm going to send out a email saying, hey, don't forget to renew your tickets for next year.
I renew my Monday. That hurt the old bank account.
Oh,
yeah. Did you see Dalton Connect get beat in knockout on Sunday?
I did not.
So he went to, I think it was D1, like a kids camp or just an appearance thing. And I guess they played knockout. I mean, this kid was maybe 10 to 12 years old, beat him in knockout. Have you had that happen to you? Anything like that at a kids camp? Any kid kind of not that you were like trying super hard, but maybe you're like, maybe I should have tried hard there.
I mean, maybe once or twice. I feel like baseball is not one of those games where that happens, But when we're talking about a 12-year-old beating somebody, you got to get lucky once or twice, But I don't think I've really ever had that happen when I've been in college, but it could definitely happen. Like you let your guard down for 1 minute. Next thing you know, everybody's laughing at you because you got beat by a 12-year-old. So it's like you can't take any breaks. But then everybody gets mad at you if you beat them.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. Never do that.
Yeah, if you're ever throwing like BP for a 12-year-old team, just don't make it hard. Don't throw BP. Like, throw at them.
No, yeah, I'm pitching to them
because they'll remember that home run they hit off you.
Oh yeah. So you won't ever hear anything.
No.
And then when their mom comes to watch you play, and they bring the dad and the kid, and it's like, oh, do you remember when he hit a homer off of you at camp? And I'll be like, I do remember that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. He should sign a ball for you. At that point, he should sign a ball for you.
Yeah. No, I need to get his autograph on my hat. Because I don't wear hats. I just wear my Scully. So I'll just keep the hat in my locker with his signature on it.
Yeah. Is that weird to like get a hat and like you never really use it?
No, it's awesome because now all my hats look brand new. Like I have a thing in my bag at home of all of like my minor league hats that I've gotten in my career, and they all look like unworn because I will have like special nights and I wear them for one game, and especially if I'm not playing in that game where like I have the day off, like I won't even wear the hat. I'll just wear a hoodie with the hood up with no hat on, and then just keep the hat. We can make some money.
So
off
you
of
and you and Kirby total opposites on hats.
those. Yeah.
I feel like that man goes through some hats.
I definitely go through like these hats.
Yeah, speaking of that, we're
Yeah, wait, how many so you go through those? How many have you had?
This is my second one. I
Okay.
wear one of these to work out.
Okay.
And then this is the one that I wear around because it doesn't look like it's been beaten
Right.
up.
Every baseball player we've had on a live show has worn that.
It's my
Just
favorite
to
hat. It's not
note
even
that.
close.
I feel like we deserve at least one to share between me and Landon at this point.
I have been offered an embarrassing amount of money for this hat.
I'm sure.
When I go to like a football game or
That's
something like
crazy.
that. Like, and honestly, I feel bad for not taking it, but
I feel like that's the right thing to do. Have you been to Baton Rouge?
No.
What's the bar there called?
Fred's.
If you're ever in Baton Rouge, I mean, you'll know, like you'll end up there.
Yeah.
Much like bigger Cool Beans kind of vibe deal to it. They have these pinstripe like button-up shirts all the workers wear. I'm glad she said no because I regret it the next morning. I offered her $1,200 for a shirt, and she said no. And I was like,
$1,200? Did that just like slip out of your mouth?
No, it kept going. I was like 100,
okay.
and she immediately said no. I was like
Yeah.
300. I think I went 6, and then I went to 12. She said no.
So
she thought about it.
At 12, you're like, please say no.
Yeah. I couldn't back down though.
Yeah.
So
when we played in Columbia, apparently there's a bar in Columbia called Pat's.
Oh.
And so I was gonna go there when we played in Columbia and get like a shirt or something, but I just never did it. And that's something that I regret about being on the road. And yes, like one of my only like road trip regrets is not going there and getting like a shirt.
Yeah. And you're not going to Columbia by choice. So
no, absolutely not. I do enjoy playing in Columbia though.
So I
did enjoy playing there.
How does that work with traveling to an opposing stadium? Like, do y'all get like free time, or how does that work?
Yeah. So basically, Friday we'll arrive on Thursday. And practice in their stadium Thursday night, just so we can get used to the surroundings with no fans in it. Because every stadium might look the same, but all of the fields are different. So like my routine on Thursday is before we even stretched or anything, I'd always go to home plate and see how many paces it would take for me to get to the wall behind home plate, just in case somebody hits a foul ball, like a fly ball. I can look up and I know how many steps I have until I hit the wall. And then I would throw a ball off of their padding, just to see like if there's a pitcher, like a wild pitch, and I'll have a chance to like make a play at home, something along those lines. But yeah, we'll get there Thursday night, and then we'll have up until practice, we have like semi free time depending on what time we get there. And then after practice, we can do whatever. We have to be in bed by, if I remember right, it was like 10:30, and they would room check us at the hotel. I stopped getting room checked at some point because I would be asleep by like 10:30. If you ever talk to V, like he knows that I enjoy my sleep, and they just stopped room checking me and Chad because they knew that I would be asleep, and Chad, that he was just starting the next day, so they knew that he'd probably be asleep too.
Yeah.
And then Friday morning we would go hit in their stadium, and then after that we had free time until we left at like 3. So we'd probably have like 11 to 3 Friday and Saturday to do whatever we want. And typically I have a lot of friends that are scattered across the SEC.
Yeah.
So like whenever we'd take SEC trips, I would always go get lunch, like with my high school friends.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that was something that I really enjoyed about traveling, like especially to Georgia, where I'm from. Like I'd go to breakfast before we go to hit at Georgia, and then I go lunch with friends that I have just from home. And but yeah, you get a little bit of free time. In Missouri, the only part I liked about Missouri was that we stayed next to a mall. And so we went and spent all of our per diem at the mall. After that, yeah. Same thing with the SEC tournament. We actually stayed in the mall at the SEC tournament. And so like that was one of my favorite parts, was going into the mall and spending all of that per diem that we get, because you get more at the SEC tournament than you do on regular road trips. Yeah.
Just hang out at Brookstone in the sauce chairs.
Oh, I wish they still had those in the mall.
I was about to say, I haven't been in a mall in a while. I don't even know if that.
No, I wish
still
they
exists.
still had those. I love those stores. I'd usually just go to like Oakley and buy a pair of sunglasses that I don't need, or just buy anything that I don't need, which is why they got to keep me out of those.
That's fair.
I don't remember the last thing I bought at a mall.
You stumped me. I don't know.
I've been in a mall like recently, but I never buy anything.
I go to that
I would like to have that.
I go to that Lulu in town center.
Okay.
That's the only thing I go to the mall for is Lululemon.
I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I got a loan to buy anything.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I almost made the joke that, every baseball field is different, stadium's different, that you don't really have to, first second and third are all the same. But yeah, I didn't even think about the back wall. That's really interesting. That's something I never would have considered.
I don't have a different playing surface I have to worry about.
Right.
Which is so nice. It's great because like one of the biggest things here is like we love turf because we can, obviously play in the rain and LSU in the Super. Like we wouldn't play that if we had dirt.
That series would have finished on maybe Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe Tuesday. And so it was like, yeah, it's great playing in the rain, but when you go to another stadium that plays on dirt, it's different. And the playing like fielding ground balls and doing everything on dirt is different. And so like that's one of the advantages that I really enjoy is I don't have to worry about, oh, this ball's going to bounce different on this turf than it will on the dirt because it doesn't. It might roll different on dirt than turf, but it won't bounce different. So blocking is the same. But yeah, the only thing, because like some stadiums have really small backstops. We personally have a really small backstop. But I'm trying to think of it like somewhere that has a big one. South Carolina had a pretty big one.
Florida have a big one?
Florida had a pretty big one when I was there. I played in Florida's old stadium though. I don't know anything about their new one.
The Hoover's got a pretty big one because it's got that door behind it.
Oh, Hoover's huge, man. I mean, that whole park is just a graveyard. Like, it's great to play there, and I think it's an interesting place to have the SEC tournament. But like that park is a graveyard. Like you see guys hit homers there, and like after playing there, it's so impressive. Like what Drew Gilbert and Blake Burke do. So impressive.
You may know this. Hoover High School. I don't know if you watch two-a-days at all. They used to play in two-a-days. That's where they play. Is blanking on the name of the stadium now, but they play in that stadium.
The Hoover Mat.
Yeah.
I
think they have their own field now, but
yeah, they do have their own field because we practice there for the SEC tournament.
Yeah, the football team used to play. I remember always watching 2 days. I was like, how does a high school team have luxury suites? It was at the Hoover Mat.
Yeah. Nice school though. Really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They have indoor cages for high school.
Wow.
It was really nice. They took care of us at the SEC tournament, especially when we went all the way, like played Arkansas. Like they really took care of us every time they had to practice there. So it was a lot of fun.
You're talking to us a little bit about kind of the day in the life of a minor league baseball player. I'm always like infatuated with that a little bit because it's not like, I mean, you see these guys in the big leagues. I mean, you're sharing a house with somebody in just a few weeks. So what is that kind of like? How's your experience been? Like a minor league baseball player? Because you've been in a couple different teams, couple different cities. So how is that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a couple different teams in different cities, but I've also played at different levels. And as you go up in levels, obviously the pay gets better, but they treat you a little better. It's a little different.
It's a rookie ball knock on.
Not great. Low A is not great, but like you said, like I'm gonna go. This is the first year where I'm getting an Airbnb for spring training. Where like I would live in a hotel for a month and a half. I was just telling someone this on the phone, literally on my way here. It's like I would usually live in a hotel for a month and a half with John Rhodes, who actually went to Kentucky.
Yeah, how did he take that game on Saturday?
I don't know. I got to call him about it. But he's a Tennessee fan deep down. Not everybody knows it. But yeah, so we would live together for a month and a half in a hotel, and that's just it's not awful, but it's not great. It's not being able to cook, not being able to do anything. And so we actually got an Airbnb this year because of the new CBA that they signed for minor leaguers this last offseason. Was one of the stipulations in there was they have to give us X amount a day to live out of the hotel if we wanted to. And so we're taking full advantage of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And living in an Airbnb, it's me, him, and two other guys. And I think it's just a lot better for your mentals too, like staying in a house rather than going home to a hotel with like all of your belongings. And but when you're in season, it's especially now with the new CBA, they have to get us an apartment in season. And so where I would live in a hotel in season before then, I didn't play a full season like that, but my first experience in low A was living in a hotel right after I got drafted in 21. But now they have to get you an apartment.
Not a nice hotel.
No, not a great one.
You get room service?
No. The greatest hotel I stayed in had a thermostat that went down to like 55.
Oh yes,
dude, I was so cozy in there.
Get your money's worth.
Oh yeah,
burn up this AC.
But now they have to get us apartments. So John and I live in an apartment every year. We've fortunately, been blessed enough to be at the same level for the most part. He got promoted to AA my first year in high A. Later in the year, but we've been fortunate enough to be together for a majority of our career and room together. So it's nice, not only like living with someone but living with someone that you like too.
Yeah.
And so the apartments are really nice. It's nice being able to cook, but I'll wake up at like 9:30, 10 on a game day. We play at 7:00. I go to the field at like 12:30, and if I have to lift that day, I'll lift. We'll hit at like 2. And then the biggest thing that I had to get used to between then and like between college and pro ball is just how much downtime you have when you're in the field. Like, dude, 6.5 hours at the field. Like, you're not moving the whole time.
Spend a lot of money at Lulu with that kind of
Oh, yeah, too much money. But like we have so much downtime, so like I'll hit from 2 to 3 and then not have to go hit BP till like 4:30. So like I'm stretching like 3 times a day.
You're not going to class changes playing baseball.
Oh, it's great though. Not having to go to class. I was gonna take classes this fall if they lined up like with my schedule. I'm kind of glad
I think you're just getting bored. Is what that says.
I really am.
You're like,
I wake up in the mornings and I'm like, wow, I
guess I'll learn.
Gotta wait till 12:30 to go to the field today. And then I get home. We could play at 7 with the new pitch clock rules. We get done by 9:30. Like a 3-hour game is so uncommon. We're like, oh my gosh, that was 3 hours long. And then I'm home 10:15, 10:30 post game meal. Crushed it. Ready to go. I honestly watch a lot of the West Coast games when I get home because I really enjoy. One, the West Coast teams are loaded.
Yeah.
And 2, like it's good baseball too, especially at night. And then we get every Monday off, which is so nice. So
what do you do on Mondays? Just hang?
Nothing. I literally don't have the energy to do anything. I'll play PlayStation all day. And
so have you gotten really good at any game, or do you just jump around?
Good is relative. I think I'm competitive in Call of Duty.
Okay.
It just depends on the day, honestly, and who I'm playing with. Because I have friends that are really good at Call of Duty, really good.
Yeah.
And I just literally can't play with them if I'm not trying to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, hey man, I'm having a good day. I'm not gonna get on Call of Duty right now.
Play by yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna play by myself and give me an hour, and then we can play. But their lobbies are just too good. They're too good at the game. And so during the year, like trying to find hobbies and do whatever throughout the year for those 2 hours till I go to the field, and then when I get home, I go to sleep at like 11:30, midnight. The thing for me is like staying up later during the season because I play at 7 and I'm not trying to like yawn in the 3rd inning.
Yeah. Are you allowed to golf any?
Oh yeah, we can do whatever.
Okay.
Like, we have pitchers that golf at like 10 o'clock tee times, and then we'll go to the field and throw. And especially if they're not pitching that day, like And I was telling someone today at the field, like we're in Sarasota for spring training, and we have pitchers show up to the field in bathing suits. Like they show up to the field at 10 o'clock in a bathing suit. They throw for like an hour and a half, and then they go to the beach.
It's pretty weird how the pitchers are so important to the game of baseball, but they live very much like a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange
but you better be good
situation. At it. I mean, they are arguably the most, it's a team sport. It's like football. It's like quarterback's not the most important, but he is. Kind of same deal with like a pitcher. You're like most crucial position, but you walk in on practice and they're playing ping pong and drinking Starbucks. Like, are you an athlete?
Who's a pitcher without a catcher, right?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And you're grinding, and you look over there, and they've got DoorDash coming to the dugout.
Yeah, and these guys are sitting in the dugout, just like you said, with DoorDash, just relaxing in the dugout. And I'm like, God, that must be so nice. You throw 1 day a week, but like I said, I mean, it's a give and take too. Like when they throw, they better be good or they're gonna have a week to think about it. Whereas like if I don't do well, like all right, I'm gonna play tomorrow. Like all right, let's try it again tomorrow.
You should get the chance if any of your pitchers golf. You should, anytime you say bad outing, you get to take a club of your choice, and they can't play with it until you give it back.
Oh, dude, we have some pitchers that are unbelievable at golf.
I'm sure.
Scratch golfers.
What else do you do on your off days?
Yeah,
Will Mabry, I see him all the time golfing.
So he plays a lot. I've never golfed with him, so I don't know if he's great. I just know that he literally plays all the time.
Yeah. That's like all of his Instagram stories.
All he does. All he does is play golf. And he did the same thing when he was here too.
Yeah. Well, that's what Drew Beam told us. He was like, I mean, we can't like throw football or anything, so everybody just plays golf.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Mapes is definitely probably getting better. Like, when you play that much, it's kind of hard not to get better.
Right.
But at least he has a hobby that he's enjoying, like something to get away from the game. That's one thing they tell you when you get into pro ball is like have something to take your mind off of the game of baseball, like get away. Very expensive hobby to have. But I think he's good for it. So
yeah. He's doing all right.
Let's balance it out.
Yeah.
Did you get to participate in the snow football game? Were you on campus?
I am.
Oh,
I am one who when I was growing up, I was not allowed to wear shorts unless it was 70 degrees outside. And so when I saw one of them walk out there shirtless in the snow, I said that's probably not a good idea. That's fair. So I refrained from doing that.
Okay.
Because it just sounds like an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah, as much fun as it looked like, there was also, hey guys, see, if it snowed in September, different story. Get out there.
Even I was like, please don't fall. Please don't get
And
hurt.
you got Blake Burke throwing bombs in the outfield. Like, oh my gosh, let's get that clean.
Yeah, there's our All-Americans playing quarterback.
Yeah. I think Drew Beam threw somebody into a wall like it was arena football. And I was like, oh gosh. Oh.
Please just throw the baseball.
Is Tony getting soft? I heard for a while there were no footballs allowed, and then we see him out there playing. It looked like 30 versus 30.
I believe that no footballs rule, but I don't know where they got the football from. I'm sure one of them just brought it in. But I mean, the university was
probably
shut down,
Shank Pun over there.
Yeah, they probably coordinated that in the group message, like somebody bring a football to practice today.
I've been tweeting let the boys play for a while. They've been wanting it. And all it took was 10 inches of snow apparently.
Yeah, and they're just out there just goofing around, don't care. You know, nobody got hurt, so hey, you know, more power to them.
Yeah, that would have been tragic.
Super.
Yeah.
And with this fan base, there would have been people calling for Tony's job. There would have been 100%.
I don't even know if he was there. Like, I don't even know if he's in the vicinity of what was going on. But he probably would have just looked at it and laughed and be like, "These guys are a bunch of idiots." But he's also like one of those coaches. He's like, he's gonna let you play until you mess up, and it's like, told you.
Yeah.
Like, but that's one of the things you like about V is like he's gonna let you be you, and those guys are all, you know, that's just what they wanted to do, so they do it, and that's a very close knit group of guys. Being around them for a little bit, like it's a very close knit group of guys. I think it's a lot different than maybe what the group was last year in terms of just like a chemistry standpoint. I don't know if they're closer than what the group was last year, but it definitely feels like when they come to the field every day, because I'm always there when they get there working out. Like it's definitely a different vibe walking around with those guys, and it's pretty cool to see. I enjoy seeing it every day.
So how often are you around those guys?
I'm around them until they start practice every day.
Okay.
And so I get to the field at like 8, and they usually start practice like 1:30 with like voluntary early hitting, and so I'm around them pretty much all day.
Gotcha.
All their prep, everything they do, like I'm around, out of their way, but I'm around them, and every now and then I'll take BP with them and you know, goof around with those guys, but I'm not in the locker room, but I'm around those guys when they're interacting with each other for literally the whole day.
I love when guys like are around the program like after the fact, like guys like, you know, Trey Smith. Anytime like he can plug Tennessee, he's plugging Tennessee, and I love that. So, what's that kind of been like for you? And are you the only one that's like you train here in the off season? Is there other guys that do the same?
Oh yeah, I mean Trey Lipscomb was here for a majority of it. I think he's coming back sometime this week.
Okay.
Garrett Stallings leaves tomorrow. Actually, just through his last live today.
He's going to spring training.
Yep, going to big league camp. Going to big league camp. And so I'm the biggest Garrett Stallings fan. So like that guy deserves, you know, all of it. And Cortland Lawson has been here all off season. Mabry's here. Lane Thomas didn't go here. He's committed to go here, but he's around. And then Senzel trains here as well. So, you know, we got a really good group of guys that come in every day. And Rucker, both Ruckers, Jake Rucker and his brother Carson, is here as well.
Tough one.
Yeah. Oh, he hears it every day. But yeah, they both train here as well. So I'm probably forgetting one or two. Chase Wallace, he's here too. So like we got a really good group of guys that are here every day, and it's grown obviously throughout. You know, the more guys, Ben Joyce, Zach Joyce, they pop in. So it's like everybody will pop in every now and then, Beck and them, and so it's like it's
and
not.
Is that encouraged? Or,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I wouldn't say V's like, oh, like please do it. He's like, hey, if you want to come back, come back. I think it's a great place to play, and Q actually trains me in the off season.
This is like your home, like in the off season.
Oh yeah, I live here.
Okay.
And so Q actually trains me, so makes all of my weight program stuff, everything like that, and he's the one that gets me ready for spring training. And I told you earlier, I have a hitting coach in Atlanta, so I'll travel to Atlanta, and on the weekends and hit in Atlanta, and then drive back up for the week, and then spend the week with Q doing that. But he's very open to guys coming to him and saying, hey, like, will you train me just like you did here? Because obviously he's very good at what he does.
Sure.
And he's very open to just letting guys work out too. So, and we have guys that'll pop in all the time too. You know, like big leaguers that know Lane will like pop in and throw a bullpen, or like we had Ryan Helsley here last year for a little bit. Kumar would come in. And you know, guys just pop in because like this place, everybody knows about this place now. It's not a secret anymore in our facilities.
I don't know what I think about that.
Yeah.
Is he orange now too? Do we convert
Kumar?
Yeah.
No.
He was just thinking of being called a boy.
Yeah,
he wants to be a man.
But he's a great dude, and it's a lot of fun to watch that guy go about his business too, because you see a guy like with that much, he was the Paul Skeens of 2019,
Sure,
2020 of my year, so it's like, yeah, I would love to see him and Paul Skeens go against each other too. But see a guy like that how he handles it and goes about his work too, it's important for people to see that. But yeah, man, I mean, a lot of people come back, and it's cool to have a lot of people come back,
Is that, and you may not know this, but you probably have a good sense of it. Is that normal? I'm sure that bigger programs, because of their facilities, but
I
know
think
if that's
so.
normal?
I don't know for a fact. I know Heston goes to work out at Arkansas, Heston
Mhm.
Kerstad, every now and then, and he might live out there. But I don't know. Trey Morgan goes back to LSU a little bit. I see it on his story.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say it's as normal as people think.
You got to have people at the next level, I guess. Number one.
Yeah.
So
And
that
I don't know
helps.
how many coaches encourage it either, because
Right.
there are a lot of coaches that wouldn't want guys to get in the way of their practice.
Yeah.
And V's like the complete opposite. He's like, "Do you want to practice with us today?" But it's like, I don't know how other schools kind of handle that. Like, especially schools like Florida, where I don't know how their coach operates, but
Right.
I haven't heard great things about him. So it's
Yeah.
like, and it's a lot about wanting to go back. I know a lot of guys that play college baseball that don't like their coach. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like, guys don't want to go back there. They just rather, live somewhere else and train somewhere else. I love V.
Right.
I see V every day. I'm like, hey man, it's like the first time I've ever seen him. So it's like, I really enjoy being around my coach from college. So I don't know if other guys can relate to that. And I know a lot of guys from LSU feel that way about their coach. So I'm sure there are a lot of guys that go there, just don't publicize it,
Right.
and they work out there. I know Paul's been back there a couple times, so it's like, I wouldn't say it's.
Livy's still there, so
Yeah, he's got to go back to see her, I guess. I wouldn't say it's normalized. Vandy, I know Vandy has a couple guys because their facilities are really, really, really nice at Vandy. And our facilities are just, nowadays our facilities are just as good as
and they're getting better right now too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it looks incredible. Too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I've seen some pictures. Did they plan for it to be ready for?
It is. It
2
has
weeks
to,
from now.
It has to be ready for opening day.
That's okay. I kind of figured that.
Well, 2 weeks. So they go on the road to start there.
Yeah, but is it the 16th though? Is a home game, right?
Is it the
16th?
No, that's in Houston.
Then it's okay. The following week's
the following week.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have a midweek. They open up with a midweek.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Yeah, I was looking today.
But they're putting the seats in right now. The actual
Okay.
The actual seats where the stadium's being built, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, they look close the other day, but I was still like, I mean,
they have seats on the field.
We're borderline.
Oh, really?
We're borderline like bench warmers in it. Like they're.
Oh, it's going to be close. It's definitely going to be tight, and the snow did not help.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
It's definitely going to be tight. But yeah, I mean, they have seats legitimately on the field.
They're gonna have Tony out there in a hard hat.
Oh yeah,
having to.
He would.
I'm sure he would.
He would.
I think he might. I think there's some psycho elements to him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to ask him about his pop-up time, because he is the fastest person getting out of the dugout I've ever seen.
No, man. I mean, he definitely brags about his agility and his athleticism often. He does it often. He will be the first to tell you that he was not a great baseball player, but he will compete with you in whatever. One year he wanted to run our conditioning test with us. We're like, why do you want to do that? Like,
yeah,
we don't want to do it.
Psycho behavior. You know what? I'll kill myself for this.
Yeah, and dude, like I said, I think I've said it before, if not here on somewhere else, like we'd have a 6 a.m. lift and he'd be in there at 5:30 jumping rope. Like we'd get in there and stretch. He's in there on the treadmill or doing pull-ups. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to beat you, period.
Yeah.
Can he do more pull-ups than you?
No chance.
Has there been anyone that, and there's probably been a few guys, but kind of go after him on that stuff? Has anyone showed up
Evan Russell? Evan Russell.
Yeah. I was gonna say, just one day show up at 5 a.m. waiting outside his office for him or something.
See, the thing is, when I first got a Whoop that would track my recovery, he first got a Whoop. And so we would just go back and forth about stuff like that. And I would ask him to lift in the morning my junior year because I wanted to just when practice came, I just wanted to practice.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind. I woke up early anyway. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go morning lift. And I would always get there and just send him a picture and be like, where you at?
And then the next day he was there before you.
Oh yeah.
He tried to beat you.
Oh yeah. And he would always respond with some smart comment like, it's recruiting. Like, I'm out trying to make us better. I don't know what you're doing.
I'll just take.
I'm out here winning.
Yeah. Doing something to help the program.
Yeah. Every time I flew, I just take a bunch of pictures and send it to you. Be like, I'm landing right now. I was in Atlanta recruiting tonight.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. I
took the red eye.
Yeah. No excuses.
So the last time we had you on, we talked about you gave us a name, and it turned out to be spot on in Dylan Dryling.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody this year that you just want to throw? Because we've heard a lot of guys, but I'm like, I'm just going to wait till we have Connor on the show so I can just go off that.
Reese Chapman's a big one for me. Big fan of that kid, just as a baseball player, as a kid too. Big fan of that guy.
He's bulked up a little bit.
Yeah, he is a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And he just has this like serial killer voice to him. That's just monotone, just like no emotion to him. And I literally like get afraid talking to him. I'm like, dude, do you want to like kill me? Like,
you want to talk about it?
But he's a great kid, and we've obviously like we've hit together. We've done a lot of stuff, and so I can really see him making that jump. And we were in communication a lot throughout all of last year, just because he was new to the SEC, and I would always text him and be like, hey man, like just make sure you're ready. Just make sure that you never know when someone gets hurt and when your opportunity is going to come. And I was making sure that he was ready because I knew that he was going to be the guy. And then another one, you guys probably already know him, but like Kavaris Tears, man. Huge fan of Kavaris, dude.
Huge.
It's a monster.
Yeah. Could have stopped it. Huge.
Yeah. And so I'm a big fan of that guy and the way that he works. And I think him and Reese will fight for the same spot on the field and just interchange, either like being a DH or playing on the field. And that's a great problem to have. Like we've always had a great problem of having really good players. And so that's another dude where I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be really good. And obviously Cannon Peoples, man, that's my guy. If I'm gonna bet on anybody to have a good year, it's gonna be that guy.
I mean, those are good.
No.
We will get back to more Connor Pavolony here in just a second. But before we do that, I want to tell you guys about a great friend. I don't know if you all are like me, but the mornings are tough. I want to stay in my warm bed, or I want to get the day over with. Not anymore. When I wake up and I smell that coffee that's on the pot. Not just any coffee. I want to tell you guys about Grade A Grounds. They're a local coffee roasting company in Kingsport, Tennessee. They're owned by 2 educators, and they want to support local community and students. So not only are you getting that morning jolt, that excellent coffee, but you're also supporting local classrooms, local students, local educators. It is a great, great opportunity to win-win. Help yourself, help the community. We love it. We love the vision that Grade A Grounds has. And guys, right now I'm on the blueberry. B is for blueberry. I love the artwork that comes with it. It's an awesome, awesome company that is first off doing great things with coffee, but doing great things and giving back to the community. Every sale, 5% is going to go to Coalition for Kids in the Tri-Cities area. But we want to help expand. We want to not only be able to get Grade A Grounds coffee to everyone here in East Tennessee, or if you're from farther away, I know we got some Chris and Milan. Like let's get some Grade A Grounds out there. We want to see not only coffee get into West Tennessee, but also we want to benefit the West Tennessee community here soon. If you guys know educators, you know a lot of times, oftentimes they're paying for supplies out of pocket. Help Landon's bank account is drained. Guys, we want to give back to those educators. 5% of each purchase that you make of Grade A Grounds coffee, 5% is going to go getting necessary supplies for students and teachers there in those Coalition for Kids classrooms. You all saw this wonderful artwork. That's another great thing they do. This artwork done by students at the direction of these art teachers will be on your coffee bag. You also get to select, so you can change it up each time you go to purchase. Medium roast is great. I didn't know how much I love the blueberry. It's fantastic. So don't dread those mornings. Guys, I look forward to mornings now. Shout out to Grade A Coffee. Get us going. Love them. Make sure you guys go follow them on all their social medias and go ahead and get your first bag today or your K-Cups, whatever you need to get you going. Go do it today. Back to more Connor Pavolony. Shout out to Grade A Grounds.
It's so much fun and so nerve-wracking watching those games. And I was in the middle of my rehab, watching those games. And it was like, dude, I'm in the hotel room screaming at my television. Like, dude, this is, and I loved it. And that honestly was the turning point of the season. If you really think about it, the Griffin Merritt walk off that game. Yeah. And then what else people don't realize, Kavaris homered that game too.
Yeah.
Right after Dryling did.
I think you put a hole in the batter's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those balls that, especially if it's hit higher, it never lands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, just tattooed it. So I'm glad you mentioned watching them scream at the TV. We actually had Khalil McKenzie on a few weeks ago, talked about the transition and kind of being a fan, which you're around the program a lot. So you still have that balance but guys, especially that aren't around it, they're looking at guys in the same position as them just that they were in a few years ago. And they're saying, we talked about the crazy fans. They turn into kind of those crazy fans for a minute. Have you had that moment where you're just you let a guy have it? You're in front of the TV where you're like, what are you thinking?
You never say this to your face.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could sit here and say I have, but I think a great thing I kind of understand is just how hard it is to do this, man. I think that was really cool about and what I tell everybody else when I've been asked that question before. And they're like, oh, being a fan is so different because you're always yelling at people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't ever do that, bro. I understand exactly. I've failed at this game so much, man,
Right.
especially in my professional career. And so I understand how hard it is and exactly what it's like to do that. So no, because not only have I been there, but I understand what it's like to fail in that spot. So I've failed in almost every spot that you can think of, dude. We're playing a super regional at LSU and I throw a ball in a left field. I promise you I've failed in a lot of spots to where it's all right, dude, you can't really blame somebody because it's not I know these guys don't go out there to
right,
fail.
right.
And, and that's why I get so angry at fans that are and the first time I've ever tweeted at a fan was last year after the Vanderbilt game. And it's
did you just have receipts for him after it?
Oh yeah. As soon as
I love that.
as soon as we walked off, we walked Vandy. I'll remember I was watching the Vandy game in Baltimore. I had a doctor's appointment the next day. In Baltimore, I had my post-op appointment, and he had tweeted during the 8th inning when Vanderbilt took the lead again that this team's just not good. So something along those lines. This team's not good. We're never gonna get out of this, whatever. And then Griffin Merritt hit the walk-off, and I was just like, let's go. I knew it. As soon as he hit that walk-off, I was like, I know exactly what I'm about to do.
Yeah. Ready for it.
And it's hard, man. This game is so humbling and just so hard that you can't tell people unless you can do it. And the thing I've always understood is if other people can do it or have been in that spot, then they're not saying anything to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is you don't want to take advice from somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, and people who do know what they're doing won't criticize you because they've been in that spot. They understand what it's like. They're empathetic to somebody who's doing that. And V knows that too.
Well, even I especially just when it's emotional because especially if football Saturdays, I unfortunately pour my entire life.
Oh yeah.
Last year I went to work the Friday after we got knocked out by FAU in March Madness, and someone was like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I didn't sleep at all last night. I was like, I thought I let Tennessee stop affecting my emotional state. I didn't go to bed. I was so mad I couldn't sleep. So sad. I wasn't just mad. I was very just sad at the way the season ended. So I'm not saying you need to tweet at somebody, but I just knew one time, just a guy swings at a ball in the dirt and you're just like, what the are you doing? Just one time. Just get a little mad.
Or just a base running mistake, which did happen a lot. And I think I texted either you or Mike one time, and I was like, dude, at this base run.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We're getting there. All right,
yeah, you're texting a buddy. That's what Danny White wanted you to do anyway.
Not calling any players out in specific, just the state of the base running.
You just blamed. It's somehow Ross Kim.
Have a clue.
Ross.
Is he still on? What is he doing?
Oh, dude. What?
Did you get invited to his wedding?
I did not. I know of one former player who got invited. It was Max.
Okay.
Who was there? And so it was probably a pretty small wedding. I'm assuming, but
tight list.
If I did get invited, I would go, man.
I called him out. I was like, "Hey, thanks for the invite."
Yeah,
and he was like, he did say small venue.
Yeah, no, he's and at the end of the day, man, I'll always have he still hits me up every now and then from a recruiting standpoint. If he's looking at a guy, I'll look at stuff and I always try to reach out to him if I ever see something Cleveland Browns related. He's always the first person I text.
God, anything Michigan, he texts me. If I tweet
him and Landon borderline aren't friends anymore after this fall.
Yeah, just because anytime Michigan beat somebody, he'd be like, "Hey, did you see that? Did you see Michigan won the national championship?" Yes, Ross.
Yeah, no, he's one of the best ever, man. I love that guy. Huge fan of that guy. Fan of that guy.
Yeah.
I don't accept the small venue. He's getting paid now. If he was volunteer,
he is getting paid.
I would accept it.
He is getting paid now.
This man's living in Houston. What are we doing?
Yeah, getting paid. Good for him, man. Good for him. He's living on PB&Js for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's getting what he deserves now at this point. If we get the third paid assistant, I don't know if it got approved yet. I think it did.
Yeah.
I would love to see him come back, man.
Oh, I know.
I'd love to see it.
My favorite video, and
he's still a VFL.
Yeah.
I don't think he saw it when everything went down with the NCAA when it was announced and that investigation stuff. I just tweeted out a link and I was like, hey, I've got a ton of information on the Tennessee Nico thing, NCAA. Like, follow this link, and it was just Ross Kivett yelling from the dugout in Omaha. I was like, it's my favorite video ever. I'll use it any chance I get. And it's just like I had the point where he's like, you just losing it on him.
I love that.
Yeah, he got every umpire there. Like, he earned his.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if I'm gonna get thrown out, I'm earning this.
Yeah,
let's go.
No, got every bit of it. I loved it.
During the Michigan cheating with the Connor Stallion stuff, he texted me probably every day because there would be something that I would tweet about it, and he'd be like, "You're wrong. You're wrong." He'd be like, "It doesn't matter if they win a national championship."
He's gonna hire Connor Stallions at Houston.
Yeah.
He's gonna get him on staff.
Dude, I'm big. He's also hilarious, just as a guy. And, but yeah, no, I love that guy. Hope he's doing well.
Yeah, he's great to. I mean, that's one of the most upsetting things about him leaving Knoxville. It's
guy,
hard to get him on the podcast now. We don't.
If I called him right now, he would answer.
Oh yeah, he would definitely answer. If he's not at practice,
who answers first? Who does he answer?
He probably answers.
But you call him. Let's see if he picks up, and then if he doesn't,
he's probably.
What time is it there?
Small venue.
Oh, it's 6:30. He's probably still at practice.
Is he?
Right.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I won't do it.
Yeah, it's too close to season. We don't want to interrupt. You know,
he's probably a giant ball of stress right now. He's got to coach third base. He's got a lot of things to worry about going on right now.
Yeah, he's got to worry about those home runs and those handshakes.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to remember on top of remembering the signs. But yeah, man, he's a big fan of that guy.
What have you seen with this team, like pitching wise? Because I think that's probably the biggest question mark of like who is it going to be? Not really talent wise. There's tons of depth and talent on this team. You got guys like Drew Beam, Kirby, Xander who have been here for a while, but a lot of newcomers. What have you seen from the pitchers?
A ton of them. A ton of newcomers. Just a lot of good stuff. Like a lot of diverse stuff from guys that we're like, yeah, you have your Chase Burns and your Chase Dolanders who both throw hard. They throw electric heaters and have really good sliders. I actually saw a video of Burns the other day. It got like 18 whiffs in a game in one of his scrimmages, which is beside the point. He doesn't go here anymore. But
what Wake Forest can't hit. That's why.
Projected like second overall pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're gonna have your guys like Beam, who, if I had to guess, would be the Friday guy at this very point in time. And it's insane to me how he's so low on some draft rankings. Because, dude, if you look at his numbers, he's one of the best that's done it here.
I mean, he's
in a long time.
He's steady Eddie. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't
know exactly what you're gonna get. Like,
I mean, yeah, he didn't have the Dolander hype. He didn't have the Burns hype, but he's just done it consistently since
every time he's gone out there. And then you got AJ Russell too, who's gonna be really good. You got Combs, who's also going to be really good out of the pen. Like, you have your guys like Xander and I'm blanking on his name right now from Wichita State. Sneed. He's throwing 100 miles an hour, dude. It's like in the snow.
He's just a sophomore too.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, I think it's not going to be where we have to score 3 runs to win a game. I don't think that's how it's going to be. I think we now have such a dynamic offense that we're going to score 8 runs a game.
Yeah.
And our pitching is just going to be what it is. I don't think our pitching is going to lose us games.
Right.
But I think it will win us games to a point where, like, the offense might not be there, but I think Drew Beam will show up on a Friday night every time he goes out there.
Yeah.
And I think V's always made the right call from a pitching perspective. Everybody wants to moan about Chase Burns going to the pen, but that was the best thing that could have happened to him last year.
That was
no matter what anybody wants to say, that was the best thing that could have happened to him last year. And I think he would tell you that too.
Yeah. I think it's pretty rare too in any sport where you see a transition like that, where a lot of people would say getting demoted, whatever, getting benched, where you see a move like that benefit both the athlete and the team in the most tremendous way possible. Like that was
they don't go to Omaha if that moves.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
And I mean, Chase Burns kind of regained some of that hype that everyone kind of said, all right, he's not who we thought he was at that point. I mean,
first round stuff, just not putting it together.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the pen and starts putting up numbers like, dang, this guy's good.
Turns into a different level of a
Yeah,
psycho.
he's gonna be a Friday guy at Wake, and
Yeah.
I mean, wish
Dude,
him all
that's
the
just
best,
an
but-
all-time gift of him going nuts. And
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
That's
Can't
just
even use
black-
it anymore.
can't use
That's
it
just
anymore.
blackout rage.
Can't even use it
I
anymore.
think that's yes, I'd like for him to be on this team, but I think that's the most disappointing part is I can't use that gift I made.
Dude, that was pretty electric. He definitely doesn't remember doing that though.
No
There's way.
chance.
No.
No chance.
But I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
If I
You-
were there.
Well, I think that's I'm blanking on his name now. Bearded dude from Virginia that is with D1 baseball now.
Oh, Donkey?
Yeah,
Steven-
that dude.
Shock, Steven Shock.
Yeah. Everybody you're talking about people who were tweeting that have never been there. He's like, have you thrown 100 more miles per hour? If you haven't, shut up. You know, everyone's like, act like you've been there. Not many people have.
No, and he's so funny, man. The year we went to Omaha was the year of his Dippin' Dots interview, dude. It was hilarious. I watched that probably 3 or 4 times. But he also provides that kind of perspective where it's like, hey, he was good enough to pitch in Omaha and he did it, but he also understands that, like, hey man, if you can't do it, don't talk about it.
Right.
Either cheer him on or don't say anything. And that's why I never understand, man. It's like, it's so easy to just not say anything.
Right.
It's so easy. Just text your friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
Be angry
easy.
at home. No one will even know you're angry.
Nobody's
It's
gonna
awesome.
even know you're mad.
And no
you
one
know?
will know your crappy opinion, which is probably the best part.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, like when we lost in Omaha, some of the DMs I got were insane. Insane. I wish I still had them. I'd show them to you.
This is a half glass full mentality for sure. But like 5, 10 years, well, 5, we're getting into Tony Vitello talking 5 years ago now. 10 years ago, people wouldn't even know guys that played on the team. So at least now, you're getting death threats. Now, I mean, you're borderline SEC football now.
Yeah, dude, it's
Like
like,
that.
is this
So I
what
mean,
it's
half
like,
glass
you know?
full.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I've made it.
yeah, dude, but we actually have a kid, the catcher from Texas is on my AA team this past year. Silas, great guy. But we just talk about that all. I can't make a joke about Texas anymore, because they beat us in Omaha.
Mm.
I literally can't clown him anymore about anything.
Do you ever do like horns down or
Can't,
anything?
because I'm just like, you didn't even beat us. Why are you doing that? Like it's but
think
they're gonna
he
come to the
triggered?
SEC and they're gonna see that horns down a lot.
Oh, dude. I mean,
don't even
that
feel
should
bad
be
for
the
him.
least of their worries.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just tough because I can't even joke around with him anymore because it's just it's over before it even starts.
Mhm.
It's like
Right.
I can't
Yeah.
even make it when I'm truly joking.
He
It's
has
just like
that.
you literally lost to us. Like, you cannot say anything to me.
I appreciate that you just shut up after that. Most people will find a new
There's
new
nothing-
way to spin it. You're
No,
just
no,
like, no, we lost. Okay,
Yeah, I'll just
That's
go
it.
like clown our hitting coach or something. He
Yeah.
went to Florida State. So
okay, perfect.
Mm.
Speaking of that, did you see that? I was telling him 11.7 tweeted out the video of Jameis throwing his freshman year.
oh yeah, like
Throwing
95,
97,
96,
98.
yeah.
He was probably with the team like 3 weeks before the season started.
Mhm.
I'm like, you should have played baseball. You could have done plenty of weird stuff, weird workouts. No one would even know.
You're
Eat
right.
dubs on
Probably
the mound.
celebrated.
Yeah. He would have never probably gotten crab legs, but that's
Probably celebrated in baseball. I saw someone tweet one time that the stuff that Russell Wilson does is only criticized because it's done in football. Like if that guy did that stuff in baseball, everybody would be like, "This is the greatest mental game I've ever seen." Like the way he goes about it. Like, and I was like,
Baseball
"Yeah,
players
you're
are allowed
probably-
to be weird.
Yeah, you're probably right." you know?
there may be a limit though. You've seen a couple pitchers come under scrutiny lately with the weird stuff they do. Max
Yeah.
Scherzer, he's been is he at a graduation doing long toss? Is that what it is?
I would not doubt it.
It's like the middle of a graduation. He's in the outfield. Which I don't know why there's a graduation on the Nationals field. But,
Actually, that's kind of sick.
I mean, it is, but
I believe it.
and then you've got. I mean, Trevor Bauer had more than just his weirdness that came, but a bunch of his weird stuff
Which
got
is a
criticized.
tough situation. It's a whole nother podcast.
It's yeah, for real. It's also tough though. Baseball, you're in the dead of sports. So what else are you gonna talk about than a pitcher being weird?
Yeah,
That's all you got.
and that's
Stephen
what
A.
makes it fun.
Smith's gonna lose his mind about some warm up routine.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun.
I don't think I have anything else that I really got to nail. We can just
I was going to
you're
ask
looking at me like I
about
need to
the catchers too, because I mean that's definitely close to your heart. It definitely seems like this staff has done a good job of not wanting to be in that position where they have 2 catchers and that's it.
hmm
Like Dalton Bargo, Cannon Peebles, they have Stone Wallace, Charlie, Cal. I mean, they have a whole bunch of guys that can play that position.
Yeah, they got a ton of them. Obviously, I think Cannon is my vote for the guy. And everybody knows I'm the biggest Chuck Taylor fan in the country.
Yeah.
The president of the Charlie Taylor fan. But I truly think Cannon Peoples is going to be a first round pick.
Wow.
And I think he's going to be light years better than any catcher that's come through here in a very long time. Truly. Like I think he's going to be very special as switch hitting catcher who hits well from both sides. I've asked multiple people what side he's better from, and they literally just don't know. And so I think that kid is going to be extraordinary if he can handle the SEC, not just the SEC, but just like everything that's going to come with it. And so I'm excited for him. I think he's going to have a great year. And, you know, we've done a lot of work together, catching wise and hitting wise, and just being around him and just kind of seeing how he goes about it. He's got a great head on his shoulders. His mental game is really good. He's a lot like me when it comes to like just being a little psycho at times and just getting really mad and being super negative. And so him and I can kind of relate in that aspect. But I think he's going to be an unreal leader. And I think he's going to kind of be the guy that you see where he hasn't been here for 3 years, but he's going to be the Drew Gilbert and just kind of lead the guys. Obviously nobody's going to be as good as Drew at doing that, or as good as, you know, Russell at doing that. But I think he's going to be that vocal guy that's going to kind of lead these guys to go where they need to go. And so I'm excited to see it, but I'm also excited to see guys like Cal and Chuck and Bargo and Stone too. I mean, 80 grade name, Stone Lawless. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah,
Right,
dude. Cannon.
Yeah, Cannon people, like, dude.
Catcher name. You were born to be a catcher,
dude.
You have to be good.
The all name team, like these guys are all over it, and so I'm excited to see. And even if they don't go back, like they go play first base in the midweek or something like that, because V loves doing that. Dude. He's just gonna throw guys wherever. But I think Cannon's going to be the guy, and I think Cannon's going to be the guy, not just at Tennessee, but like in college baseball. And I really think that. I don't know anything about any other catcher in the country. From what I saw, what I heard the other day was the number 1 ranked catcher in college has not caught an inning in college because he goes to Virginia.
Oh.
And that's obviously where Kyle Teal went.
Mm-hmm.
First round pick and unbelievable player. Probably going to be big. I would not be shocked if he was a big leaguer this year. But I just don't see how you can kind of, and I'm not saying Cannon should be number 1. Don't get me wrong, because I've seen that, you know, that guy hasn't caught very much in college either. If you look at his track record at NC State, but he's done it at the plate, and he's really done it for a catcher. Obviously, and I've tried to express this to him. He's a really good hitter, but he has to understand that there will be times where his hitting will not be there, but he has to be able to catch. Yeah. Because if he cannot catch, he will just be a DH. And so that was one of the things with me, I think that I take a lot of pride in, is the fact that I can really catch, that I can really lead a pitching staff, that I can really calm guys down, that I can really, you know, understand the game and be a catcher. And I think he does that very well, but he hasn't done it in college at this level yet a lot. And so what I'm trying to tell him is like, hey man, like you got to take care of your body. You can't go and work for 4 hours a day. He's a workhorse, dude. All he wants to do is work, which is great. But like you can't do that when you're about to catch 65 games if you guys are going to go to Omaha. Yeah. You know? And it's a great, like I said, great problem to have. Yeah. I love the fact that he's doing it. But I'm just trying to like show him that, hey man, I've been through it and I've done it. I've caught a whole year. And it's tough, dude. It is a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so I'm definitely excited to see it, and he's going to figure it out at some point, one way or the other. He's just a, you know, blue collar grinder. He's going to figure it out. But I think he's going to be the best catcher in college baseball, to be honest with you.
You heard it here.
That would fire me up. Like getting me back to Omaha.
Yeah, I really do. And I wouldn't say that lightly, especially considering I was a catcher. And considering I know how very seriously we take, you know, being a catcher here, how V values that and Frank values that. But I've seen some really good ones, man, and I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah. And really I think the good thing about that is, like you said, 65 games. I don't think you have to. Like, cool if he can.
Yeah.
But, like, you have guys behind him where, like, Cal did a lot. You mentioned Charlie Taylor. Dalton Bargo has done it.
Yeah.
So you have guys behind him that, like, hey, if we're playing Tennessee Tech on a weekday,
let's pick another team.
That's true. That's true. That was the first one that popped in my head.
And they're a good team.
They're good. Yeah, they're good. And the year we go and play them at the Smoky Stadium, just like soul crushing. that was one where fans got fired up. They're like, why would he use wooden bats? It's like, in the grand scheme of things, who cares?
Doesn't matter,
This
bro.
game
The only people
doesn't
who cared
matter.
about that win streak were the fans, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
in the grand scheme of things, this game does not matter.
oh,
But
dude.
it was funny to see him fired up, and that game did hurt just because it was what, like 10,000, 11,000 people
It was
in
a
that
lot.
stadium. It was on local
Somebody
TV, which
took
was
Ben Joyce
pretty cool. Other than
dead
Ben
center.
Joyce,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
it wasn't fun to lose, but,
but
it
I
did
understand what
matter.
you're saying. Yeah, and I don't think Cannon will catch many midweeks. If anything, he'll probably DH them.
Yeah.
Just like I did when I was here. But he just got to understand that when he's doing that, or if he has a Tuesday off, don't show up to the field at noon and try to get 3 hours of catching in before the game. Just don't do it. Just show up, hip, hip, hip.
Yeah, you don't need
Put your turfs on and watch the game. You know, and so
have your clean hat.
literally, they get 3 sets of catcher's gear this year. I noticed that the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
How many do you get?
When I was here, we got 2, but they were orange and gray when I was here, and they got a I don't even know. They have a black set of catcher's gear.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
This year, and so I'm assuming they're going to rip that out with the black jerseys. I don't think that was supposed to be a secret, but if it was, sorry. I mean,
what are they going to do?
Literally, and so the gray. I've seen all the gear. It's so sick. See, Andre Lipsch just said this earlier today. The reason that we can't, as pros, get them anything anymore is because they literally get everything. There's nothing that we could buy them anymore. You know,
That's like me with my wife.
You should just get them all like
together.
beta fish or something.
dude,
like something to take
something
care
that
of.
like they don't have that we could get them. There's nothing that we could get them.
How do you guys feel about like a pet? What are those things called that we want the fish? Axolotl. Get them all axolotls.
You know what that is?
No, no.
They're pretty sweet. They're like fish lizard things.
It's
They're
like
like
a
fish with
salamander
legs.
kind
It's
of
nuts.
thing.
Get them a fish tank for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Somebody's definitely going to break it.
But we don't get them custom cleats anymore because they already get them.
Mm.
Can't get them custom Evo shields because they already get those. Arm sleeves, they get those. You know, so it's like, all right, well,
Is it Drew Gilbert
Pay
that
for the
makes
stadium?
yeah. You guys want a new stadium? You're getting that.
Yeah.
Drew Gilbert? Is it him that made T-shirts when he was here? Just like random T-shirts.
The sweatshirts.
Yeah, just
That
make
was funny.
make the team random shirts, just
Yeah.
like Pavolony and I don't know someone else's
Mhm.
name, Charlie Taylor, and then your name under it, Pavolony, for like 2024 or something.
Yeah,
Get some presidential campaign
some
shirts
stuff they
going.
can wear on the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't get that, surely.
Oh, they do. If they wanted it, they would get it. That's the prize. They get whatever they want, dude. It's
well, one
It's
year
crazy.
Trey Liskin had to wear his entire uniform on the road. What was that about?
you talking about Kyle Booker?
Oh,
Kyle Booker.
yeah.
Wasn't Trey. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
was
that
thinking
was
it was-
funny. Oh, why did he have to do
Didn't y'all
I
send
thought,
out
it
like
was,
a text?
I thought it
that
was
said-
jerseys, and he like wore his jersey.
Y'all said like jersey, like for travel or something.
No, he did something that he had to wear.
Oh, his
that
punishment.
Oh.
His punishment.
I just don't remember what he did. I wish
I-
I wish I remember.
That's hilarious.
I like that he committed to it, and I mean he had
Oh.
everything on.
Full
owned it.
uniform.
Owned it with the mask on too. Like owned it. It was awesome. And obviously it was something where like that team. Was that COVID year? No, I think it was the year. It was the year after. wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It was 21.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the closest team I've ever been on. There was so much, and he just embraced it. It was like, dude, we're not making fun of you. You got to do it. Like, you got to do it. And so yeah, it's. I wish I remember what he did, but it was definitely funny as to like why he had to do it. But yeah, and I love that went viral because the video didn't even point him out. It just had him in the video,
Yeah.
and then someone stopped it and was like, "Is this kid in full uniform?"
Dude, that's my
He's trying to get to the field.
That's my favorite meme. I use it all the time. This is how ready I am for baseball season.
Dude, yeah. It's awesome. I love it. And people in the airport stopping him and asking, like, you probably would know because we walk around with Tennessee bags on and we have Tennessee clothes on. But nobody would know what sport we played until they saw him in full baseball uniform. It was awesome.
That does
Are
show
you Drew
how just
Gilbert.
generally speaking, that shows I think how dumb the public is. Because I think if I look nothing like a athlete at all, but if I wore a full Tennessee baseball uniform, someone would stop me and ask
For
me,
sure.
You play baseball at Tennessee?
For sure.
And typically people wearing a full uniform in the airport don't play baseball at UT, but just happened to that
Just
day.
happened to, yeah. And it was, dude, that was one of my better memories because usually we fly private. That was one of the very few times that we flew public. I don't even remember where we were going. I think it might have been Round Rock or no. Was that year? No, it was the year after. I don't remember where we were going, but it was one of the very few times that we actually like flew public.
So we need to tell Zerker get one commercial flight a year, so something like that can happen.
Something like that can happen.
Yeah.
I think it should be a tradition where one person like messes up, like that's their one punishment they have to do.
Yeah, wear the uniform.
Wear it to dinner or something.
Or like no one tells the one person that like, hey, we're gonna wear something completely different, and he gets that one text from Tony Vitello, just like, hey, you have to be sure to wear a full uniform to the airport tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it definitely needs to be a thing.
Yeah. Have you seen the fur coat? I don't know if you can.
I've seen
that. Okay,
it's made an appearance.
Still there.
I love that, and I don't hate the team at all for trying to doing your own thing, like not necessarily getting away from it, moving on. But I also love that they said it's not working, bring it back.
Nope, bring it back, and then they brought it back, and there they go. So back this year, I don't know this for a fact. I haven't asked anybody about it, but I would be shocked if the fur coat didn't make an appearance.
As much as I love a team trying to do their own thing, I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
Do you know if it's the same one, or have we?
Oh, definitely the same one. Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't even.
It's got probably a little stench to it.
Probably, yeah.
Where does it stay at night?
Somebody
take it home
in the locker room.
Okay. Is it locked away somewhere?
But no, we got books in the locker room.
But Burke takes it on the road with him, correct? Okay.
Yeah, Burke wears it on the road.
Seems fair.
So he's got to hand it off.
Yeah. They need to add something to it. If anything, just add to it.
Like the iron-on patches or something.
A cane or a crown,
something like that. Yeah. Because there will be a lot of homers, especially with the way they're building the stadium. I think the air is going to be different.
Okay.
The balls are going to fly a little bit better.
So that wind's not going to push in as easy or something.
Oh my God, it's going to be raining home runs.
Yeah. And so hopefully that's. I mean, dude, you ever been to Arkansas? I've never seen a ball fly like it does in Arkansas.
We're actually going to Fayetteville for football season, but we're gonna go to Fayetteville for.
Dude, that ball in Arkansas flies.
That's just the hogs. They're just calling the hogs.
Dude, that playing there is one of the craziest things I've ever done, dude. I have like 12-year-olds screaming obscenities at me in a stadium. And I'm like, isn't it past your bedtime? It's like the 7th inning. Like, go to bed.
Arkansas and A&M look like fun environments.
It was a blast because A&M wasn't good.
That would make it.
They were not having a good year. And so the fans, like, they were excited if A&M was winning. And they were excited for the first couple innings until we started winning. And then it became like a fun atmosphere. It was really cool. I really enjoyed playing at A&M.
I think that's probably honestly how it is when they're winning. That they are the nicest people on planet Earth.
Yeah,
I don't think
I heard
they
the same
can
about
be
Mississippi
mean.
State. I never played at Mississippi State, but I heard the same.
I went there for
us after we.
That's what I heard.
Just annihilated.
I went to A&M for the football game in 2016, and every person I met was just the nicest human being.
Yeah.
It was very strange. I was like, "This is SEC football, guys. You're gonna have to just dog cuss me one time. That's all I ask."
Florida, not so much.
Florida, yeah, you're not going to have a great interaction.
No,
my mom actually was not a fan of Florida. She traveled to a lot of the road games my junior year, but I don't think she came to a lot of the road games my freshman year. But Florida was one of them that she came to, and she just happened to be sitting behind somebody that was making fun of me while we were playing. And it's just like my mom is just not the person to have sitting behind you when that happens. And I hit a double or something, and she was telling me this story, and I was like, "This is not gonna end well." She's just sitting up there waiting for me to like do something good,
so she could just throw it right back in the face.
And she was just telling me about it, and I'm like, "Hey, Mom, let's not do that anymore, okay? Because everybody knows that you're my mom." So let's just, and I have to tell her that about her Twitter account too. I'm like, "Mom,
Pat's mom on the back of her shirt.
You cannot tweet this at somebody. You just can't do it. If you're gonna do that, take me out of your profile picture."
Yeah.
You just cannot do it. And I love my mom.
You're gonna have to like create a burner account for her.
Yeah, and I love my mom. My mom is.
Oh yeah, that's a mom. That is a mom.
Just make her an account like Tony Vitello's beard or something, and just let her go at people with it.
Yeah, there are times where she'll send me a tweet, and I have to a tweet or like an Instagram post, and I have to explain to her that is a troll account and what they are tweeting. Yeah. Richard G. West was her kryptonite. He would tweet something and she would send it to me. It didn't have to relate to baseball at all. She'd be like, "How could this happen?"
Yeah.
Like,
is this real?
Mom, that guy. Yeah. The profile picture and the biography all look real. But I promise you, he is not real.
Yeah.
I promise. She's like, "No, it's real." It's not real, Mom. It's not real. He is a troll. Like, he does not know what he's talking about. Talking her off the ledge about something that doesn't even involve her. It's just he's just so invested in Tennessee.
I get the same.
That's awesome.
I get the same thing. When we tore down the field goal post, and then he like tweeted out some article about how Tennessee like is, with this company to try to pay for them. She's like, I cannot believe this, and I was like,
do I have a story for you?
That's good because it's not true.
She called me and told me this, and then I was like, that just is. Where did she hear that? And I called her back. I was like, hey, where did you see this? She's like, on Twitter. I was like who tweeted that? She's Richard G. West. I was like, you had me believing it.
Dude, it looked real. It was, and most people like troll accounts have like this is a troll account or a parody account in their bio because they're decent human beings. But that guy,
no.
That guy, no.
And
someone lost their job because of him, I believe.
Really? Yeah. Well, sort of. Yes.
I know the story, but yeah.
That's... I don't know if he brought light to it. If he did, that's crazy.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What his original, like probably for the first few years, he'd always have like something at the end that was so absurd. You're like, fake. Like, I don't even have to think about it. Fake. But now he's like getting like, he's making jokes, but getting things right. And it's getting weird.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, now
we're put him in articles and being like, oh, they got got. And then it turns out it's real.
Dude,
we're living in a strange world.
Social media is a nightmare.
And AI, dude, we're going down a dark road, dude.
Oh, yeah.
There's potential for this to be brutal.
I think the best thing that Twitter X whatever did is the bookmarks.
Yeah,
because that screenshot lasts forever.
I used to just DM tweets to myself.
Yes,
I used to
do that too.
I used to favorite stuff, and I didn't realize a lot of people think if you favorite it that you're liking it. But that's how I would bookmark stuff.
Yeah, because you can see your.
And I just never thought about people would go to my like page and they would see it, and I'm like,
what are you liking, Caleb?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh god, like it's even just like some crazy opinion that I'm just like saved to come back to later, and I'm like, I don't agree with that at all. Don't mishear me, but yeah, it's at least Instagram. I mean, all these places don't show likes anymore, but Twitter's still about it. They don't care. They'll expose everybody.
Man, this has been awesome.
Dude, I've really enjoyed this. I think this has been one of the most just like casual conversation podcasts I've done yet where we like really just chop it up. I've had times throughout this where I'm like, I really have to watch fights. Like I'm a little too comfortable on this couch right now.
Well, the good thing about like a lot of people are like, oh, you recorded it so you can like cut that. I'm like, yeah, we don't cut anything.
We'll go back and cut stuff, but we would love not to.
Yeah.
We'd love just to let it go.
Yeah, it's been awesome, dude. I've really enjoyed it, and I think, like I said, friend of the show, friend of Landon's, friend of yours. Like it's a great dynamic to be in here and really just talk it up.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. It's fun doing it in person. These are it's always good to get on.
First podcast I've ever done in person.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's been awesome. Yeah. It's been awesome.
We'll get to a game. When did we try to go?
When I was in
you were injured.
When I was in Asheville,
and
I was supposed to come back that week. And then they pushed me back another week, but we had talked about it, and I was.
We got rained out too.
Yo, I mean, like we woke up that morning, we're like, it'll clear out. Like the game will happen. We were sitting at a brewery, I don't know, like a couple blocks from the stadium.
Yeah,
just watching it piss poor. We're like, no chance this game happens tonight.
Yep, super tough. But hopefully you guys can get to one soon. I mean, hopefully I get to AAA. I could play like in Gwinnett or something, or even like AA. Getting to play in in a certain league, I get traded, or I get to play the Smokies or something like that. That'd be so sick.
What's Chattanooga in?
Are
they in that
low A?
Yeah.
Okay.
Low A with the Reds, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I would assume they're in the same like division as the Smokies, but are they?
No, they're low A and Smokies are
okay. Okay, that's right. Okay.
I don't know what low A league they're in. But I know the Smokies are in like the South AA league with like the Braves AA is moving to Georgia. If you guys didn't know that, yeah, from Mississippi.
The Mississippi Braves. That's right.
They're moving to Georgia. And so like there's a ton of AA teams down here, like Pensacola at the Marlins. But there are way more AAA teams down here.
Right.
Where like Gwinnett is down there, Jacksonville. Like
who's Birmingham? I have no idea. They're AA, right? But who are they affiliated with?
Are they not the White Sox?
Maybe.
Isn't that where Michael Jordan?
I think you're right. The Birmingham Barons. Yeah. I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd have to go.
I know they play in the Smokies because they play them all the time. The Barons, are they the Barons anymore? Who? Montgomery Biscuits.
Montgomery Biscuits, yeah.
The Biscuits.
And that's the Rays.
And the Trash Pandas.
Grass Rocket City, yeah. But yeah, hopefully you guys get to a game soon. I mean, hopefully I'll play around here.
And you dealt with some injuries last year with your hand.
Yeah.
All good, healthy.
Yeah. I mean, I broke my hamate last year. Just 4th game of the year, just super unfortunate. And then in surgery, he cut a little too deep into my hand and cut my ulnar nerve.
Oh,
and so I lost feeling in my hand for a couple months.
Terrifying.
Dude, that was brutal. It was brutal. But I had a great PT. And so like I was only out for like 3 months till I got feeling back and then coming back. So I'm 100% now. Hopefully my one goal is just to make it through the whole year healthy and, see what the Lord has in store for me. So I'm fired up, man. I really am. I think it's going to be a great year, and whether it is or not, like
you're playing professional baseball.
Literally,
so.
man. Like Cortland and I talk about it all the time, dude. Like my job is to wake up and go work out.
Yeah.
And then I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
So like even during the year, it's like if you're not playing well, I wish I had this perspective, hopefully I do this year when I do struggle, because that's going to happen. But like, I just want to be grateful to do this. The Lord has called me to do this and, make sure I fulfill what I'm supposed to be doing, because very few people get to do this. My friends remind me of that all the time from home. Whenever I complain at them, it's like, dude, I would love to be playing professional baseball right now.
Right.
So just, take it for what it is and take every day, one day at a time. So I'm fired up, man.
I looked it up today. 0.5% of high school baseball players get drafted and play professionally. Like, that is insane.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely a blessing, man. I'm super excited, and like I said, I mean, I'm super grateful to be here and getting to meet. If I never played at Tennessee, I'd never meet people like you guys.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's,
absolutely.
I've done a lot of great things in this game. So like, I'm super excited to just try to make it through a whole year healthy and see where the chips fall.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch and wish you the best of luck this
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for coming on, and yeah, good luck this season. And dude, we're gonna get to a game. I don't even know why I'm saying hopefully.
Yeah.
Like, we'll make it work. We'll schedule, make it work.
We'll figure it out. I appreciate it, guys. This has been truly a blast.
Yeah.
I've loved it. I've loved it.